TechRadar did their best office chair list a few months ago. We shot it, but unfortunately, we were told by our videographer that the list had changed before the edit was ready to go live. So today, we have not actually seen the updated list. We're gonna pull it up right now and see if any of these picks are actually legit or if it's just a bunch of branch like it was last time. Let's jump into it.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Ooh, I see a gesture. Is that a gesture in the quick menu picture?
It sure is. All right, so their team of experts have tested, reviewed, and rated almost 50 of the best office chairs, and they say these are the ones that they recommend. And number one is best overall is the Steelcase Series 2. Well, Ryan, what do you think?
Why would be my first question.
Where does that rank in the list of Steelcase chairs for you first?
Second to last. Slightly ahead of the Series 1, but maybe behind the Series 1 because the value ratio is probably not quite as good. This is kind of a weird pick just because, I mean, Steelcase has a lot better chairs than the Series 2.
Robert?
So my problem right away with the Series 2 is it's a smaller chair. So it has a really short seat depth. So for me at 6'2", I really can't even sit in this chair, which is kind of similar to the first round of picks they had, which had the Branch Verve chair, which is like way too small. So when they're making these picks, I don't know that they're necessarily considering the wide range, different sizes. And for me personally, the Amiya chair isn't that much more expensive from the Steelcase lineup. For me, that's a much nicer chair, and it's going to fit a wider range of users.
Yeah, I think for me, this is a weird pick because it's not like it's a cheap chair. So the cost to value ratio, it's $800. And like Robert said, the Amiya is $1,000. So I don't really necessarily understand this pick for best overall. I think if we're going to get close to $1,000, then we should probably pick the better chair from Steelcase. I just don't like the Series 2 for one reason. The seat is way too hard. And I know that would be a problem for a lot of people. So, all right, number two, best on a budget, Corsair TC100 Relaxed. Now, this says a cheap, cheerful, comfortable office chair under $250, and it's technically a gaming chair. Its smart monochrome makes it perfect for work.
This is another head scratcher. I'm not sure.
It only has
what makes it better for work than just a standard ergonomic chair.
And it has a 3.5-star score.
You guys know that I just don't love the racing style bucket seat, and that's what this is. Yes, it's going to be cheaper, but we found a ton of good options under that price point, searching on Amazon, chairs like the Kalami Atlas, Kalami Kirin, Tacova. There's just better chairs than a typical racing gaming chair, and this isn't even one of the popular go-to racers like the Titan, so interesting pick for sure. I'd probably not recommend this as a best budget office chair. Maybe it's a best budget gaming chair. Truthfully, I haven't seen it compared to other $300 chairs, are usually a dime a dozen, but interesting pick.
Yeah, I'm definitely with Ryan here when he's talking about like these Kalami chairs. To me, it's a much better value, and they're even advertising this as a cheerful, comfortable office chair. Well, if you're okay with getting an office chair, much better options for that price range. So it's like, I think they're recognizing that they're able to find a cheap chair by picking this gaming chair, but you're much better off with those office chairs.
Right away, when you look at the picture, you already know it's going to be a problem because it has the side bolsters that are stiff. It's not molded foam. Same thing with the back. It's actually really narrow. It has the cheap cushions for your headrest and lumbar. When you take out that lumbar, it's uncomfortable. And with the lumbar, typically, these are really aggressive. So it's just a cheap gaming chair all around. I don't understand the pick at all. And I think they're 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is coming from them directly. It's a good indication that this isn't a good pick at number 2 for budget or anything really. So number 3 in their list is the FlexiSpot BS11 Pro OC14C8. Or Robert, have you seen this chair? I don't think we've had this one in the office.
No, I don't think we've had this exact one. No, I mean, right away you can see that this is an all-mesh chair, which that's going to be very polarizing, especially a mesh seat. So some of the things they're describing it is this ergonomic design, firm lumbar support, great for keeping a good posture. In my opinion, if you want a chair for all those things, I'm sitting in the right one, which is the Aeron. If you're looking for that all-mesh, this is going to be the one. Of course, this is going to cost almost $1,000 more than this chair. But they're not talking about price on this pick. They're talking about best for posture. The Aeron, to me, would be that pick for the best for posture.
We've seen a few FlexiSpot chairs. One of them has been decent enough to recommend in a 200 and under list. And so I can get on board if this was your best pick for back support for a certain price. I just have a tough time when you make it as your best pick overall for back support, just because there are some amazing chairs out there for good posture. And when you're going to pick a lower end chair from a lower end brand, I don't really want to trash FlexiSpot. They're very good at what they do, but that's servicing the lower priced, cheaper chairs. They make the best of the cheap cheap. And so this is a tough pick if it's going to be overall. If it was qualified with the price, I'd be more on board, but this is a little tough just for the base model. What?
So when you look at their, right after for posture, we now have best for back pain, which I think has some overlap to it. But again, I think we've made a huge mistake here. Sihu Doro C300. I mean, we've seen so many of these chairs with the pronounced lumbar that's so far forward from the actual upper back that your back will never touch the actual upper back. So you're only getting lower support in this one. It's a 4-star for them. I mean, provides all day comfort. I can't see it. Robert, what is your take?
Yeah, I mean, I do prefer, if I'm having any kind of back pain, I do like a chair that has more pronounced lumbar support. Like the ErgoHuman, for example, has a really strong lumbar support system. But again, I mean, if you're not qualifying anything by price here, so why not pick a more high-quality chair that's going to have a ton of adjustments that you can really fine-tune it to kind of fix where your back pain is and where your needs are for that different support. So,
yeah, I'm going to take one thing from the actual review. During prolonged use, barely rising from this chair for 8 to 10 hours, we experienced no pain, no fatigue, no pressure of any kind that might affect your lower back. I've sat in a ton of these chairs that are just like that. That's so far from the truth, it's ridiculous. That tells me you've never sat in any chairs or you're just straight up lying. That's my take, my opinion. All right, next up on the list, we've got best desk chair for the home office. Yet again, another FlexiSpot. Now, let's just be clear. FlexiSpot has some of the best affiliate commissions in the industry. Typically, they're running around 10%. I'm not surprised to see them picked here as many times as they are. This is the chair that I think that we have one of these here, don't we?
We have a similar one to this, not this exact one. When you make a pick for something as broad as best for home office and you're not picking a really high-end flagship chair, then you're really just picking for the affiliate commissions and the keywords, in my opinion, and you're not actually attempting to build a list to help people, which I think most lists should be doing.
Before you go, Robert, I actually think the reason why I think we have this is because we got a random chair from FlexiSpot that I think is this chair with the padded seat. No one knows why it's here. We've never ordered it. It just randomly showed up, and then we received an email from them, I think it was yesterday, for the chair, trying to see what our thoughts were on it, but no one has ever communicated that this chair was sent to us. It's crazy.
We'll open it and check it out, I guess, when we're done here and see what it is. But, I mean, it's kind of like their previous version of this list. You know, you could call that list a tree because it was so full of branches. But this one is... This one's full of FlexiSpot chairs.
Sorry, Robert. Greg and I can't stop reacting to the next pick on the list.
Yeah, we jumped ahead. Best office.
To lumbar support.
Yeah, best office chair for lumbar support.
3 back picks in a row now.
Yeah, but this one, of course, is the Secretlab Titan chair. And I want to just take away from like the first sentence in this. It says, if you need solid adjustable lumbar support, the Secretlab Titan is worth consideration, especially if you dislike cushion softness of other chairs. That couldn't be more true. If you like sitting on a brick, you're going to love this chair.
It's definitely the most firm chair from the seat to the back to everything. Yes, it has adjustable lumbar. And yes, it's our go-to pick for racers, because most other racers have the pillow system, which is absolutely brutal. And so having an adjustable lumbar system is an upgrade to that. But is it an upgrade to an ergonomic chair with an actually properly shaped S back? Absolutely not. I would take a chair like the Vera or the Liberty that has no adjustable lumbar support at all over the Titan's flat back with just
some support.
Next chair is a Freedom chair, a Humanscale Freedom. So this is a $1,000 chair about best for long hours and comfort. Now this is where we maybe aren't all going to agree here in the room. Personally, I do think this is a very comfortable chair. So this is a pick that, personally, I would put this as my best pick for home office. To me, this is a better overall pick even. But yeah, it's pushed down later on the list for this long hours. So yeah, like I said, I think you guys don't love the Freedom as much as I do, but I think you'd agree it's still, at least we're getting a high quality ergonomic chair here.
Well, yeah, I don't love the Freedom, but I would definitely pick it over every other chair that's been picked prior and for every category. It's better for back support, back pain, posture. I don't like the headrest, but like Robert said, it's a well-built chair. It's got decent adjustments. The seat's comfortable.
So just to put this in perspective, this is chair number 7 in the list. This is the first chair in the list that it even mentions this, but with 4.5 stars and a Tech Radar recommends badge, the Humanscale Freedom is the best office chair for long hours and comfort. None of the other chairs up to this point, 6 chairs higher rated, didn't get this recommendation. Now we're at 7. Why isn't it number 1? Why isn't it number 2? How isn't it the best overall? I don't understand.
My guess is because it's $1,500 and there's far fewer people that are going to buy a $1,500 chair for you to get a smaller commission on from Human Scale than buying a $300 chair with a bigger commission from FlexiSpot. In my opinion, though.
Right.
It's my opinion only.
And just to be clear, we have affiliate links as well. We understand it's to help compensate the work that goes into this stuff. But if you're doing it only solely just to sell stuff and not actually having accurate picks, you're doing a disservice to everybody, and it's clear why you're doing it. But the next one up, best big and tall office chair, is in its steel case gesture. This one's ludicrous.
This should have been the first 7 picks. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 should have been the gesture. This isn't even a big and tall chair, though. So what are we doing? We didn't pick the best chair for the first 7 categories, and then we pick it for a category that it doesn't belong in.
Right. If you're 400 pounds, you don't sit in this chair, even though Steelcase rates it for that. This is a chair that I think you got to be sub 300 to sit in this chair, and it's going to be tight then, even so, because it's not wide enough. It's not built for that. Robert, can you just read the second line that's in there where they start to talk about it?
So the steel case gesture is seemingly tailor-made for big and tall users, not exclusively, of course, but with 400-pound weight load and with its wide cushion seating area, the chair offers above-average support.
So a big and tall chair will have at minimum 22 inches, which is too narrow. Typically, they're 23, 24, and 25 inches. These are actual big chairs if we're talking about big.
Yeah, the gesture's not that. I agree that it offers above average support, certainly, but this isn't a big and tall chair. I think they're getting caught up in the weight rating and, again, just inexperience with the category in general, probably inexperience with seeing the chair in person, being unable to identify that this is actually just more of a standard size chair that is just ridiculously over-engineered, so it has crazy specs.
Yeah, so, that pretty much sums it up here. It looks like they had some honorable mentions. We got to just run through those real quick. Steelcase Personality Plus, the Razor Isker Fabric, the Sihu M90D, FlexiSpot again, Mavix M4, and an ErgoTune Supreme 3. Like, where are the regular chairs that you would expect to see in this list? Herman Miller, Aeron, Embody, the Leap, any of these chairs that are just typical, Zodi, Fern, where are they?
Not sure. A lot of good chairs missing. Interesting list for sure.
All right. Let us know what you think. Is this the most ridiculous list that you've seen to date? I think for me personally, it got worse, and it is the worst list that I've seen yet. Let us know in the comments.